Hi and welcome to Jim's radio shop, and we're continuing work on this Canadian General Electric G-40 radio. And I'm going to, there's a bit of a hum when the set operates, but it has a bit of a hum. I think I'm going to replace this guy, and this is the original capacitor, which still appears to be connected, one of the two. And I'm going to consider doing away with this guy too and putting in two new filter capacitors. Just looking at the diagram here, it has a 10 and an 8. So a 10 millifarad and an 8 millifarad with a resistor in between. And this is what I'm having I'm having a bit of trouble spotting. I think this is the resistor. It does appear to be. I'm not exactly sure, but it doesn't really matter. We don't need to be sure. We should find out if this guy is... How can he be in the circuit? He's sitting there all alone like that. Why don't we take a look at the test? I think we'll just have to get the voltmeter out and check this guy out. So, a little quick safety check. Ready. Power is on. And the set is warming up. Sounding's not too good, is it? Looks like this connection itself is, maybe it's a cold solder joint in there. Okay, what do we got on here? Look at that. Okay, so we got over 200 volts on that. 215 volts, 190 there. So, and if you're, I'm not sure if the hum comes across on the video or not, but there's a slight hum there. This radio would require a fairly large antenna. Okay, got the power. Yeah, it needs a pretty good signal into the front end of this radio. So we'll change out both those capacitors. Of course, we'll leave them in. We'll put different ones underneath. Well, I've got some pretty darn large ones here. 68 of 47. Those are pretty big capacitors. Yeah. 47 microfarad instead of 6. The only real drawback with that is the charging current. If we look at the schematic here, oh yeah, it's got a field coil, of course, in the speaker as part of the power supply. Yow. I don't know what to think about that. That's a pretty large capacitor. Let's just think about that for a little bit. I mean, their main reason for not putting in a large capacitor is unnecessarily expensive. Of course, that doesn't hold true today. Things are pretty cheap these days. Maybe if I just put one in, that's going to be enough to do it. Okay, so the one that's out is the smaller guy. The bigger guy is still in place. How would I put the big guy in and just replace this one with the big guy? And I can just parallel it right across. Leave this guy in. He is probably still pretty good. We'll fit that in like that. That way we won't be putting a huge amount of capacitance. I think I will remove this wire. We'll disconnect this entirely. So let's see how this goes. Okay, I don't want to move that wire too far. Very, very stiff insulation. I'll just end up with more trouble. I think we'll fit this in. Is that the popular grounding spot here? fell down there. Ended up being soldered in the wrong place. Just at the last moment, and then, of course, the solder freezes, and there it is. But I was able to fix it. Pretty sure that's not going to hum now. But let's just give it a little try. There we go. Okay. I didn't think the radio would come on because there's no hum. Well, there still is a very slight hum. Lots of hums in my shop here. What about a little bit of radio action? There we are.
Again, optimistic. Well, you know, it's such an interesting point about that, when it comes down manner and properly. So that's I think they conclude from talk of the government officials and also the policy.
See if we can put a better antenna on here.
Society level, that is, and here is a tipping point. We have to, control the pollution. Is there a pollution revolution? Well, in a sense, if you look at this, pretty large scale.
That's pretty good sounding.
Protest against the building of, let's say, in your back.
On the other side of the break, we're going to, I know there's people on the line, but we're going to switch.
Definitely have a problem with this volume control. I think we're going to have to replace it. It's not a happy thing. I'd rather not replace things like that. If we can in any way make them work properly. So I'm looking for the volume control in the schematic. There it is. I'd say it's, I don't know, 2.5 megohms, I'm not sure. But the volume control is in the IF circuit. Oh yeah, you can actually see. Hey. Hold the horses. Well, we're going to end this video with something quite interesting, right? Turn that down. Okay, now. Okay, so there's the volume control. Right there. You can see there's the knob. There's the back of it. Let's look at the connections. There's 3 of them, of course. Can you see what I see? This wire right here. Not this black one. This one right here. It's going nowhere. And this guy, this terminal, has no connection. So how do you like that? I think that's where we'll leave it. We'll take a look at that in the next video. Bye bye.